God. And here we go. This is the kickoff. See, you're over here critiquing my spelling of entrepreneuring, even though it's not a real word. It's my word.
Entrepreneurs need to know how to spell.
Spell entrepreneur.
E-entrepreneur.
Exactly.
This is Michael Clare.
And this is Trey.
And we are the couple of entrepreneurs. We're here to share with you our journey of successes and setbacks as we enter the world of entrepreneurship now that we no longer have 9 to 5s due to the new normal of the world and the pandemic.
Join us as we race the clock to start earning money, gain consistency, and overcome self-doubts and uncertainty as we search for our voices and obtain personal and financial growth. Hey everybody, this is Trey Murphy and I am here with the beautiful
Michael Clare.
And welcome to the couple of entrepreneurs. Yeah, there we go.
You almost forgot the name.
I know,
Are
right?
you that new?
On the very first go round.
You're that new.
Oh my gosh, at least my hands aren't shaking. I seem pretty calm.
Wet behind your ears?
Breath smelling like Similac.
No, baby. It smells like Listerine. You gotta brush your teeth when you're talking
Hey,
this closely to somebody.
I made sure I did the proper brushing before I got all up in your face with this microphone.
Thank you.
The purpose of this podcast is, for one, to be perfectly honest, just to flex our content muscles and put some good stuff out into the world. What are you trying to get out of this?
I'm trying to get out of this. Actually, you know what? I'm trying to learn too. This is kind of a first time thing for me. Well, actually second time, but first time in this actual particular market.
Oh.
So I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to learn and teach at the same time.
Okay, well, talk about your first time then. Tell me about your first time.
My first time as an entrepreneur had to do with cake.
Oh, so many ways we could go with that.
So sweet. It was so sweet. So I own actually a home bakery. So I learned all the ins and outs of entrepreneurship through that and what it takes to be an entrepreneur and to succeed in the slinging of cake.
Oh, wow. That's actually a really big deal because most people don't take that step to go out and work for themselves. That's a whole different animal than just clocking into a 9 to 5 where somebody else is kind of like telling you what to do.
Yeah, I can't lie. It takes a lot of effort. And I think that's the thing that people forget is that it takes a lot of effort in order to build something for yourself and make sure that it succeeds. But when it's your baby and you know that all of the stuff is done for you, then it makes it worthwhile. Okay.
Do you think that you'll be able to bring some skills to make this new type of entrepreneurship a little bit easier, or do you think it's going to be like something starting from scratch, like you're starting from all the way over from zero again?
I can't lie. It's like scratch baking. You like what I did there? Mm-hmm. There's some things that I can bring over to the other side of entrepreneurship, but it's hard. It's very hard because some things are very different. There's a lot of different lingo to learn. There's a lot of different software to learn. And, you just kind of have to make an extreme effort in order to make sure that you're up on all of the latest things in order to make sure that your process goes as smoothly as possible because it can be an uphill battle.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
I think so.
But it's a climb.
Yeah. There is definitely a learning curve to anything that you do.
Absolutely.
With this one, the learning curve seems to never stop because the technology is always changing. Different platforms are going bust and new ones are coming up. And some of the apps and software that you've used before are just all of a sudden obsolete. So it seems like it's a constant learning process. But I do think that there might be some core principles in this whole thing that you can master. And then when the technology shifts and changes, you're kind of still on the boat. It's just a different boat, right?
Absolutely. As long as you have the foundation and the tools, like you said, the foundation is the most important thing because you can build off of that.
Right.
Obviously. So once you have those things in place, all you need is to make sure that you're up to date with all the ever-changing tools and then be a forever student. And then as long as you're working for yourself, I think entrepreneurship is great.
Good. Well, I definitely like the attitude. I think that's the kind of attitude that we're going to need because I can foresee there being some difficulties in learning all of this new stuff. And that's what I think is going to be a big purpose of this show is to let everybody see us kind of like bump our heads and scratch our heads and either persevere or become defeated on whatever these tactics are going to be.
No defeat.
Yeah.
No defeat, sir.
No, that's true.
Like, we shall not be defeated. We shall overcome. We shall overcome whatever is in our way, sir.
All right. So besides the obvious, let's get paid, what else are you kind of like looking for out of all of this?
Is there something else? Realistically, that's number one for me. Number one priority is getting paid. I mean, that's practical, and that's probably most people's motivation in some way, shape, or form. But I can't lie. I'd love to set an example for our son, make sure that he knows that it's possible. Anything is possible, that you're capable of all things that you put your mind to, hard work, and effort into. Those, and actually, honestly, proving to myself that I can do it. Yeah. You know, a lot of people fear not being capable, not being smart enough, not having, you know, what it is innately that you need in order to succeed. Mm-hmm. So I think proving to myself is a big motivator for me also, because I know I'm capable. I know I can do it, but am I willing to put forth the effort and overcome whatever may be in my way in order to achieve what it is that I'm striving for?
Oh my gosh, that whole statement just sounds like a young lady pulling up a big boy pants.
That's right. Pull them up.
Yeah, the effort is a really big part of it, because I think the big trap that people fall into when going into entrepreneurship is I think people underestimate the amount of effort that it takes to even take sometimes the smallest steps or even to even get started. I think that once you kind of like get into the flow of how things go, it moves a lot easier. But that initial burst of let's get this thing going, let's get this business going, takes a tremendous amount of effort.
I agree. I absolutely agree. So what is it that you pull from, or that you think is your biggest motivator in order to keep your momentum going?
That's a really good question. It's a lot of it's a lot of different things. Actually, it's a whole spectrum of things that motivate. Off the top of my head, I kind of want to prove to myself and to be perfectly, honest, to our community, that by learning digital entrepreneurship, we can create our own opportunities without asking permission. And I do think that in a lot of communities, people are stuck because they feel they have to ask permission from the bank to get a loan, ask permission from a contractor to build this building, ask permission to buy the building. You almost got to ask permission to pay taxes. You got to ask permission at every single turn in old school brick and mortar style businesses in order to get what's in your head out to the world and make money off of it. Well, digital entrepreneurship, it kind of like breaks all of that down. The startup costs are extremely low. You don't need as many contracts for building a building, and you don't need 30, 40 people in order to help run your business. It literally can be just you if you really want to go that route. Or it could be you and like two other people, and you'll have an entire business that could potentially make hundreds of thousands and honestly, even potentially millions of dollars without having an overabundance of resources that you constantly have to lower your head and put your hands into the air and ask, please, some more from the old school ways of making money.
Oliver Twist. Did you quote Oliver Twist?
I did. I did a little bit.
Please, sir, can I have some more?
I'll have to work on my British a little bit.
You will have to, sir. But no, I think that's amazing. As you're absolutely right. We don't need people to help us to necessarily to support us in moving forward, right, when we can create our own opportunities, create our own businesses. As long as we're willing to do the work, as long as we have the tools, like we said, then it's absolutely possible. And we don't have to go to these larger corporations or investment bankers or anybody for that matter to ask for anything. Yeah. And we can do it ourselves.
Yeah. There is actually a very real potential that this can be done free. I know that sounds almost impossible. And I honestly wouldn't want to go the complete free route because that takes a tremendous amount of effort.
Yes, it does.
But if you do have that time to do it all by yourself, you can do this and find success and not spend one dime.
What about a penny?
I mean,
what about a nickel?
A quarter rattling around in my pocket like, I don't know. Now, I just want to be clear. I personally don't want to go the completely free route because I'm a believer in speed, and I think money pays for speed and moving things on a little bit faster so they can reach your goals a little bit sooner. But that option is available.
See, that's great to know, because honestly, you're either going to spend what? Time or money.
Or money.
So one of those two things, and if you don't necessarily have the money, like Trey said, it's absolutely possible as long as you're willing to put forth the time.
Yeah. And speaking of time, I think we're getting close to about the 10-minute mark. This is pretty much just a little, hey, how you doing, world? We wanted to, put something out there that's permanent and also gives us a sense of showing the effort that we're trying to get things moving forward and putting like a time stamp on this. This is kind of like the flag in the moon landing. It's like, okay, we're here. We're on this moon of podcasting. And we've put the first step down. So it's like one small step for mankind one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Is that what it is? I think that's what it is.
You need to get your quotes together.
I know I should. That's the importance of having stuff written down before you just start shooting off the cuff.
You didn't put forth the time. No, I'm
kidding. Gosh.
But yeah, thank you for tuning in. Yeah. And we really appreciate it. We're looking forward to creating more content for you guys.
Absolutely.
Definitely follow us on our journey because it's definitely going to be a journey.
Yes.
What obstacles we have, what we do to overcome those obstacles, and eventually to success.
Yes. I can smell it. Smells like Hennessy.
It smells like Listerine.
And on that note, we're out of here.